Mangwanani Mwalalepo Fukenjani Klekwas Dumelava Nave Africa. Welcome to Africa Good Morning, the news current affairs show that's bringing you everything you need to know happening on the African continent and beyond. As you know, on each day we try to focus on one country while still stepping out into other African stories where we can. Today we will be focusing on the top stories stemming from Namibia throughout this week, and we'll also be bringing back the interview that I had with Bernadette Bok, who's the executive director of the University of Namibia Foundation, in anticipation of the Chancellor's annual charity gala dinner, which will be taking place tonight. However, we do have breaking news from Zambia. Police in Lusaka have summoned National Reconciliation Party for Unity and Prosperity losing presidential candidate in 2026 general election, Brian Mundubile, and his running mate Makebi Zulu. Inspector General of Police Grafel Musamba says the duo have been summoned for questioning over alleged links to various crimes and activities said to pose a threat to national security. The summons form part of ongoing investigations being conducted by the Zambia Police Service in collaboration with other law enforcement agencies. Here is the Inspector General.
The Zambia Police Service, in collaboration with other law enforcement agencies, is aware of the location of the duo who have sought refuge under international law with a non-international organization. The government has already communicated with the said organization and made assurances that the suspects are entitled to the due process of the law and their fundamental human rights, and that there is no harm intended to be done on them in any way.
We will certainly be keeping an eye on that situation, especially considering that we do have a correspondent on the ground in Lusaka, Mike Sichula, who will be giving us any updates. And should they pop up over the weekend when Africa Good Morning is not on, do make sure that you follow us on Facebook. Africa Good Morning is the name of the page, and we'll keep you updated. My name is Ashwin Berry. We'll head into our top story shortly.
Namibia is a land of movement, with waves that never stop reaching forward. Here, adventure is not something we search for. It is something we are born into. In every corner of this country, creativity rises. From artists, from athletes, from dreamers. And when the world comes to explore Namibia, they discover something extraordinary. Because when sport moves people, creativity moves ideas, and tourism moves the world toward us. Something powerful happens. A platform where movement meets imagination, where industries connect, where opportunity grows, where Namibia's next chapter begins. Welcome to the Creative Sport Tourism Expo. Exhibit, partner, experience. Creative sport tourism.
All right, let's get into the top stories stemming from Namibia throughout the week. Vice President Lucia Witbooi opened the 4th Namibia Oil and Gas Conference and Exhibition at the Mercure Hotel in Windhoek, marking the official start of the event. Witbooi delivered a message from President Netumbo Nandi-Ndaitwah, which was centered on success. The official opening followed masterclasses on local content and participation presented as part of the conference program. Witbooi addressed the gathering as the conference moved into its formal proceedings at the Mercure Hotel. Her presence marked the commencement of the 4th edition of the Namibia Oil and Gas Conference and Exhibition. Here is the Vice President in her own words.
The warm greetings and full support of Her Excellency Dr. Netumbo Nandi-Ndaitwah, President of the Republic of Namibia, who is unable to join us today due to other equally important national duties. Her Excellency has delegated to me to deliver this statement on her behalf. And the head of state wishes this conference a resounding success. Allow me.
Now, Mashare constituency councillor Petrus Kashumali warned this week that repeated loan refinancing and borrowing from several lenders is driving workers deeper into debt, leaving some unable to cover even the interest they owe. Speaking during an engagement with the National Assembly Standing Committee on Economy and Industry, Public Administration and Planning in Rundu, Kashumali raised concerns about the financial consequences of repeated financing. He said that people often refinance their loans only for their affordability to decline further, eventually pushing some borrowers towards multiple illegal lenders. Here he is in his own words.
No, these are just ways of people trying to maybe survive. We don't know, but they are multiple. The other one is loan refinancing and consolidation. You take a loan, you pay for 1 or 2 years, then you go back, consolidate, and then you get a change. After 2 years, you go back, you take again. And as you are taking, the affordability is also going down. Down and down, until you cannot afford. Now, when you can't afford, this is where the illegal cash loans are coming in. They will not even check the affordability. And then you go to person A, occasion A, you take. You go to question B, you take. You go to question C, you take. First month, you might afford to pay the interest only. After paying the interest, you have nothing to take home. What happens? You go to question D. Now you have 4 people that you are owing. And maybe something comes up, you go to question E. What happens the next month when you get paid? You can't even afford to pay the interest of those 5 cash loans. Now, some comments that we are seeing on social media is that the government must instead of dealing with the sharks, cash loans, we must deal with the issue of increment and other things. Money can never be enough. We can increase today, but if we can't change our behaviors, it will remain the same. First of all, we must first deal with what we have, and then maybe when we negotiate, we get increment, it will be better. But if we can't afford to manage what we have at the moment, it will still be difficult. Thank you very much. Others have been said.
Now, the Students' Union of Namibia challenged the National Council for Higher Education this week to publicly identify private higher education institutions allegedly admitting students with as little as 5 points into engineering programs. Chairperson Bernard Kavau made the remarks at a press conference at the RIK Technical College in Windhoek, where the union rejected proposed standardized admission requirements for higher education institutions from 2027. Here is Kavau in his own words.
Apparently, there are universities that are even taking students with 5 points. 5 points to be taken to do engineering. When we are asking them, tell us which institutions, they are afraid, they are being coward. We are challenging them today. Tell us which institution is offering lower points. Be it 18, be it 5 points for a person to do engineering program. Mention them, don't hide. If they are afraid, they can even write an anonymous letter to us from NCHE and tell us it's institution A or B, and we'll deal with them. They are given a mandate to register institutions. They are given a mandate to regulate the quality of education. Why are they allowing institutions to operate like that if they really give substandard? Why are allowing people to do engineering with lower points there? I think it's a clear message. NCLT must not hide under institutions apparently they are accepting students with lower points. Well, we are there for quality education. Namibian youth are ready to study, and we know they are smart. Despite the difficult condition, we are still passing. However, the condition must be improved. If they continue with these shenanigans, we'll be left with no option. We'll engage the Prime Minister, we'll engage the Office of the President. And we know and we believe they must not undermine the power of the youth. We'll engage the parents, we'll engage the youth of this country. There will be no work in this country. Everyone must benefit. Forward, student, forward. Forward. Forward, student, forward. Forward. Thank you very much. I'll give now special thanks.
Now, the MVA Fund officially handed over a C-arm machine to Onanjokwe Intermediate Hospital, and this was in the Oshikoto region this week, providing advanced equipment intended to support safer surgical procedures through real-time X-ray guidance. The equipment will assist doctors during surgeries while improving diagnosis and patient care in the region and beyond. In his keynote address, Joshua Nyipangelwa, Regional Director of the Ministry of Health and Social Services, said Namibia needs to continue strengthening partnerships that combine expertise, innovation, and resources in support of improved healthcare outcomes. Here is the Regional Director.
Enable us to respond more effectively to evolving healthcare demands. Accelerate the adoption of modern technologies, strengthening services delivery, and ensure that investment in healthcare generates lasting value for our people. Indeed, if we are to meet healthcare challenges of today and tomorrow, we must continue to embrace a cultural partnership and collective responsibilities. It is thought effective, collaboration that institutions are able to extend their impact, maximize availability or available resources, and deliver healthcare solutions that improve and save lives. To the board and management of MVA Fund, I wish to convey the gratitude of the government of the Republic of Namibia and the Ministry of Health and Social Services. Your contribution will strengthen the delivery of specialized healthcare services in northern Namibia and support our ongoing efforts to build a health system that is responsive, equitable, and fit for the future.
And now, Ambassador Tuliameni Kalomo urged Namibians this week not to underestimate small donations towards Cuba's humanitarian crisis, stressing that every contribution matters. The National Council handed over $27,609 Namibian to the Namibia-Cuba Solidarity Campaign for humanitarian assistance to the Cuban people. The nationwide campaign, launched in Windhoek, seeks to mobilize financial and material support, including medical supplies, amid what the campaign describes as severe humanitarian and economic challenges in Cuba. Here is the ambassador in his own words.
Every contribution, please don't tell us it is $10. Every contribution matters, large or small. And the contribution we make, listen to our Cuban friends, carries a great hope for the people of Cuba. Listen to our Prime Minister, how he was received, how deeply grateful the people of Cuba are for the support that we are giving, for the solidarity that we are, not the size of our contribution necessarily. We need, of course, a big help, but the gesture of solidarity is much appreciated in Cuba. This tells them, this encourages them that they are not alone. It tells them that the bonds forged between our two peoples through history remain strong and unbreakable. And it reminds us all that true solidarity is measured not only by words, but by concrete, demonstrable action. Honorable Chairperson, Honorable Vice Chairperson, and members of the National Council and staff, as I conclude, allow me to make a passionate appeal again. Please, Chairperson used the word relent. Yatoibo said in the dock that he knew that the struggle was going to be long and bitter. And then he affirmed, but I also know.
Those have been the top stories of the week stemming from Namibia. Now we're going to have a look at the weather before we swing back to the interview that I conducted with Madame Bernadette Bok, who's the Executive Director of the University of Namibia, in anticipation of the Chancellor's annual charity gala dinner, which will take place tonight. From me, Ashwin Berry, until next week, it's Swera Zakanaka. This is Africa Good Morning, and joining me in studio is the Executive Director of the UNAM Foundation, Bernadette Bok, as we talk about the annual Chancellor's Charity Gala Dinner, or is it the Chancellor's Annual Gala Dinner?
The Chancellor's Annual Charity Gala Dinner.
Wonderful, yes. As long as we get there. Thank you for joining us in studio,
Thank
Bernadette.
you so much for having us and having me.
It's good to have you here. As a UNAM alumni myself, I'm always excited about everything that the university is doing. Now, as we get into it, what do you think, or what do you know is behind this year's theme? One university, every ability.
Yes, we're very excited about the event. It's actually the second time that we're hosting the event based on this theme. And for us, that means that every student that enters the university, they've got different abilities. They've got different talents, they've got different aspirations, different dreams. And that is what makes us such a diverse and exciting community, and that's actually the university's strength. So what we're saying is that despite this wide range of talents and abilities, each and every student have got the same right to quality education. And abilities or disabilities should not prevent any student from achieving those aspirations, pursuing in the first place, and then ultimately achieving those aspirations. So each and every student have got a different way of learning, they've got different needs, they have different support needs. And with this theme and this event, we are trying to make sure that each and every student actually have, especially those with disabilities, that they have the required resources that can help them achieve those aspirations.
I think that's incredible, because if you look at a lot of universities around the world, this is usually something that is outsourced. It's usually a group of people who are, you know, in the activism section, people in social work, trying to conscientize the university with regards to these otherwise marginalized students. But I think it's refreshing to see a university be intentional to address this and to make sure that the educational system is as inclusive as possible. Now, you're saying this is the second time that you've hosted the gala dinner under this theme.
Yes, that's right.
What difference has the support you received from the first gala dinner made with regards to the UNAM Foundation?
Last year we raised just over 1.3 million in support.
Wow.
Those funds have enabled us to procure the equipment, the technology that is needed to help these students with disabilities become more independent, maneuver around more independently across the campus, the main campus. For now, we're focused on main campus. So it has helped them to maneuver more independently, to do their assessments more independently, because the reality is that many of the students with disabilities, they need so much support from staff. So we've seen that you can see the improvement. So we got the funds, we did the procurement, we have installed some of them. We're still busy installing the rest of the equipment within the university's disability unit. And now we're moving on with this year's gala dinner. We're moving on to the next phase, which would be now making sure that students at the other 11 campuses of the university also receive the same type of support.
That's incredible.
And you are very right saying that University Intentional, it's got a policy on inclusivity. It's got a dedicated disability unit to support students across the 12 campuses of the university. But we also can't do this alone. So all the outsourcing that you're talking about, we need
I was actually going to get there with you.
The difference is just that university is driving it.
Is driving it, and that's really what it is. The university is driving it, and it's usually very difficult to help someone who does not know how to be helped. The amount of work that needs to go in identifying these very intricate problems. You know, for some of us, it could be as easy as looking at a smoother staircase or a couple of wheelchairs, but it's much more detailed than that. And when you see the university has already gotten into that detail, it makes a lot of sense to now involve partners to support. Now, you're looking for support from corporate Namibia, from public institutions, from the public in general. Why is this important?
Because inclusivity is a shared responsibility. Yes, as we rightly said now, the university drives it. We have a good idea of what is needed, because like I said, we've got this specialized disability unit with specialized staff, but we of course still need the support, and that support can look so different. Corporate Namibia can support, for example, in with equipment, with expertise, with internship and employment opportunities for staff. I mean, for students with disabilities. Alumni like yourself, you've got that special connection with university. So your personal networks, of course, your support through the gala dinner as well as beyond would make an immense or very big difference. Our development partners, they've got the expertise, they've got there's potential for longer term program support, not individual activity support as such, but really program support to help us to make sure that we actually align with international standards and all that. So each and every type of contribution makes a huge difference. People always say, but I can only buy a seat. That 2,000 with which you buy the seat with, that can help us take a step further in getting those equipment that makes such a big impact for those students.
That's incredible. Now, the gala dinner itself is going to take place on Friday the 21st of August. What can guests expect at the gala dinner?
Well, it's a gala after all,
Yes,
so we
indeed.
really hope that people will come looking beautiful.
Yes.
There will be good entertainment, there will be good food, good conversations, and really a very fantastic opportunity for engagement, for networking, because everybody will be represented, government, private sector, academia, and the general public. Each one will be there, and it will be an opportunity for our guests to also engage. But then, of course, at the end of the day, we want to raise the awareness about the opportunities that are there. First of all, the experiences of disabled students, but then also the opportunities that are there. We will be reporting on what has happened thus far, what have we been able to achieve thus far, and what is the way forward for this project or the course that we are working on currently. So, but yes, so at the end of the day, fantastic evening, come and enjoy, but it is an evening with a very impactful course.
Rooted in purpose.
Ex-
Rooted.